Welcome to the K-Town Talking Podcast. My name is K-Town Casey. I'm out of the studio right now, but after a couple day break, we're going to jump straight into it. So, bad news for Tennessee fans. Joey Aguilar was denied his preliminary injunction. As for Joey himself, he will be attending the Combine, a shortened version because he can really only do the athleticism drills. He can't do any of the skill drills because his arm is still recovering from that surgery to remove the benign tumor, which was, causing him pain, causing him numbness in that throwing arm. So, he cannot partake in any of the skill drills. Now, I do think Joey Aguilar, he's proven himself this season at Tennessee. I think he definitely did enough to get drafted. However, most likely below the third round. So I'm saying round 4 or below. So most likely into day 3 of the NFL draft is when Joey will get his call. But I do think he will get a call. And I think one of these teams, they will have Joey Aguilar as their second, maybe, but most likely their third-string quarterback. I think Joey will be fine. I think he will make an NFL roster, and he may or may not ever start a football game, but I think he will make a roster. And as for Vols fans, George McIntyre looks really great, and he has a heck of an arm, and so I think Vols fans do not really need to worry about not having the deep ball. Like, Nico could never hit the deep ball. There is film of George McIntyre hitting countless 40-yard shots down the field. So, George, I think we can roll with him, and I think the Vols, as it stands today, most likely a 10-2 team, possibly 9-3. But guess what? The ceiling is undefeated national champions. So take that for what it's worth. I do think the ceiling is absolutely undefeated national champions. SEC trophy and everything. But otherwise, the Vols have some more good news. We're making a major push on Georgia commit at quarterback, Jaden Wade. And Jaden Wade, he is the number 1 player in the class of 2027. Go watch his film, man. Talking Vols, Boogie Bentley, he made a great video breaking down a little bit of Jaden Wade film and telling you really where that recruitment stands. As far as an outside looking in, for me, absolutely nothing is final in the class of 27. So, especially if we land that commit of Jaden Wade, we're going to see Derek Baker decommit from Tennessee, almost surely decommit, because he knows he can't compete with a guy like Jaden Wade. So imagine we get a Jaden Wade. Jaden Wade, he has the deep ball in his film, just like George McIntyre. And Jaden Wade, he's got the highlights, he's got the stats, and currently at IGB. I'm sorry, guys. I completely blanked on the name of the academy. I'm going to have to search that. Bear with me. My bad. Yeah, that is, now that I've searched it, it is IMG Academy. They are the sports high school, as far as I'm aware. And they're definitely developing him into a great player. I think Jaden Wade is definitely in contention for the Vols, especially if we land the next guy I'm going to talk about, which we're making a big, big push for him, even bigger than we are for Jaden Wade, and that is David Gabriel Georges. David Gabriel Georges is the best running back. I'm just going to say it, the best running back in the class of 27. He's ranked number 2 at RB, 8 in the nation. That's wrong. He's the best running back in the nation. His highlights and his stats, in my opinion, and probably in most people with eyes' opinions, are better than the guy ranked number 1, who I will not even name. But David Gabriel Georges, most likely, man, I think he's coming to Tennessee because we have, in 3 back-to-back seasons, had 1,000-yard rushers. It was Jalen Wright, it was Dylan Sampson, and this last season it was Deshaun Bishop. Guess what? We get Deshaun Bishop another season, probably going to have 1,000 yards minimum. We are then going to have Dwayne Morris, which looks like he can be a heck of a player out there at the running back position. And then in the 2028 season, we have Faison Brandon at quarterback, and we still have Mike Matthews, Braylon Staley, Tristan Keys, and Radarius Jackson, all 4 of those wide receivers we retain. I mean, unless NIL stuff happens, which whatever. But we retain all 4 wide receivers. We have Faison Brandon at quarterback. And we have David Gabriel Georges at running back. And that is the season that I really think the Vols have a really good shot. But they have to perform well this season to get the commitments to have a shot in the 2028 season and even in the 2027 season. But if we can simply dish out enough money to sign these kids to come play for Tennessee, man, that is going to be one heck of a high school star power, at least we'll say, team that Tennessee puts out on the field in the 28 season. So, really excited about that. Next, what in the world is going on with football right now? Eligibility, and this is a sad time in college football when you look around and see what's happening. Eligibility and NIL, and this is rough. And as a guy who was fully on board with Joey getting another year, I know I can't turn around and act like these players shouldn't have more eligibility. Like, I can't just flip the coin and go, oh, they only have 4 years now at any level. I feel like I can't do that reasonably, but I've already given you my opinion, which is the day you step onto the field or you sign a contract with a football team, that counts your first year of athletic eligibility. And so no matter if you play it down, if you signed a contract, then that's a year off. Or if you haven't signed a contract and you step on the field, that's a year off. In JUCO, in FCS, and in FBS, as soon as you step onto the field or sign a contract, that's a year off. And that eligibility stays as long as you have academic eligibility to back it up. It doesn't matter if you're taking walking class. If you are taking walking class and getting, as a part-time student, 1 hour a semester, that's fine, because you have 6 years of athletic eligibility, so you could be not even really pressing for a degree, but you can get your eligibility, in my opinion. And Joey, didn't sign a contract the second year in the 2020 season with City College of San Francisco, and then, steps on the field at Diablo Valley for 2 years, steps on the field at App State for 2 years, and steps on the field at Tennessee for 1 year. So that's already 6 years. He would be suing for a 7th, and the NCAA is trying to say he's suing for an 8th. Whatever. I can't act like I am against Joey playing, especially after being so on board with having him back as our quarterback. But if you give him 6 years to start with and use the system the way I suggest, does he stay at City College of San Francisco for that second year? No, but that doesn't matter if you're doing it the way that I'm trying to say. And if he goes to Diablo Valley, is he going to stay 2 years at Diablo Valley? Probably not. He's probably going to really either try and walk on or really try and sweetheart a FBS team, any FBS team, and try and walk onto the field for them. But he felt like he had more time because, thinking about, well, JUCO years count-ish, but they kind of don't, and it's just so messed up. The system is so messed up as a whole with eligibility and NIL that it's just really, really a bad time for college football. This all brings me into what the NCAA is trying to do to a young man that is just completely unfair. This video that I learned this from was another local Tennessee-based, Knoxville-based podcaster, Sports Talk Jay. And I learned about this from him, and I just want to bring this in front of my audience and also give a shout out to Sports Talk Jay. Go watch his video on it. He's probably going to do a much more in-depth, well, he did, I can tell you. He did a much more in-depth look into what the NCAA is trying to do to a young man, Lewis Moore. The NCAA has threatened to invoke the rule of restitution against Indiana. This is because Indiana, during the 2025 season, Lewis Moore played under a court-ordered injunction which went against the NCAA, ruling him athletically ineligible. He was a 6-year senior. As of the start of the fall semester of the year 2025, As the start of the 2025 fall semester, he was suing, and he was granted a temporary injunction on September 24th, 2025. Granted an injunction, allowed to play the entire season for Indiana. The NCAA is now trying to wipe every win from Indiana, every stat from Indiana, and take their national championship trophy. I don't know what to say. We deny Joey Aguilar. Okay, and then the judge, he has to examine the evidence and not appear biased, and he doesn't want to be the guy to start a new principle, especially because it's in a local court. So he would look more biased, and so he doesn't grant Joey the injunction. Okay, they, in national court, allowed Diego Pavia to play. Now they might go and discount his stats at some point in the future, but now they are trying to take from Indiana an entire season worth of wins, an undefeated season worth of wins. They are trying to take away their stats from the record books. They are trying to take the national championship win away from Indiana. And they are trying to discredit the entire Indiana football team because of an eligibility issue. It's not okay. It's not right. Lewis was not the reason that Indiana went and won a national championship. Lewis was not the reason that Indiana had a 2,800-yard passer in the backfield through 12 games. Lewis Moore is not the reason why Fernando Mendoza won the Heisman. He's just not the reason. The NCAA is taking Indiana and trying to turn them into an example. And say, you, Lewis, Indiana University, Joey Aguilar, can all go jump off a cliff and bark at the moon on your way down. And we're going to revoke everything that you worked for, Lewis. We're going to revoke everything that this Indiana football team worked for. It's not okay. Football is in a sad time, in a sad place. And I don't know a course of action to make it better, and obviously no one does. This game that we all love, if you're here, you probably love football. It's dying from the inside out at the college level. The viewership isn't going down. The viewership is on par with, it's on par with everything but the NFL and even some college games are getting higher viewership than NFL games. And the viewership's not going down. It's not dying from the outside. No. The entirety of college football is suffering from internal bleeding right now. I mean, what the NCAA is trying to make an example out of a national champion. And it's just not okay. I don't know what to say. I'm worried about college football as we know it. Well, in other news, A.J. Brown is possibly going to become a Patriot. He was on an interview with Edelman and Gronk and said that he was just messing around, just fooling around, joking, when he made a little smirk when Gronk and Edelman asked him if he was going to be a Patriot. Although it seemed very genuine. It seemed like he really was planning on becoming a Patriot, and guess what? He already has a relationship with Mike Vrabel. Drake May was the best deep passer all season, and that offense will be unstoppable with a guy like A.J. Brown. That's gonna be a sight to see. What I said in episode 1 of the podcast, how Patriots probably aren't going to make it back next year and definitely aren't going to win it next year. Well, if they get A.J. Brown, Patriots are going to win the Super Bowl next year. Like, no need to. I mean, they just are. They just are going to win the Super Bowl next year. A.J. Brown, when he was out on the field in that last playoff game for the Eagles, and he was dropping those pretty good passes from Jalen Hurts, which is a rare thing. When he was doing that, I really feel like he was intentionally dropping those because he hates the Eagles so much. And so AJ on the Patriots is going to be very scary if that happens. And so that's going to be cool to see. Lastly, I want to run down a mock draft, the most recent one by CBS. And we're going to go over that in the second half of this episode, which I will post on YouTube later. But I'll go ahead and give you the outro. Don't forget to keep God first. Love y'all. Peace out. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed. It really helps.